Hey, Rev here this morning. It is Wednesday morning. It is June the 2nd. I hope that you're safe and well and blessed. We reach hump day, and I hope your week is going well for you. I hope you've been able to be a witness to somebody this week, and I hope you'll be a witness to somebody even today. I always tell you that God's going to give you opportunity, and I don't want you to miss out. So be ready. Anytime, any place. God will give you the opportunity to be a witness. I'm going to read one verse again this morning. This comes from, I'm using the New Century Version today. And this is Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20. And it reads this way. Paul says, God can do much, much more than anything we can ask or imagine. God bless the reading and hearing of his word this morning. Think about that. God can do much, much more than anything that we can ask or imagine. You know, when we want God to answer our prayers, we must be willing to not only let God answer whenever he thinks is best, but however he thinks is best. God's ways are always better and bigger and higher. Always. Think about it. What would have happened in the story of Zechariah and Elizabeth if God had answered their request for a baby just immediately? You know, they would have gotten a sweet little baby, would have loved, and they would have cherished him. But God delayed the request for a number of years. And then when he did answer, he gave them John the Baptist, the cousin of Jesus Christ, the only prophet to see the prophecies of Jesus fulfilled, and who also was the forerunner of the Messiah. Excuse me. Our problem here is twofold. One is we ask too little, and two, we want it too soon. I mean, we are a generation of people that want things done right now. We are a generation who is focused on the immediate. We don't want to wait for stuff. That's why we have microwaves. Instead of putting something in the oven and it baked for 30 to 45 minutes, we can stick it in the microwave and it'll be done in 5. Now, do this. Let me go back to the verse that God can do much, much more than anything we can ask or imagine. So think of the greatest thing in your imagination that you can think of. God can do even more. He can do bigger than what you're thinking. You know, sometimes I believe that verse and I try to claim it. You know, I imagine the biggest thing that I can pray for, the biggest thing that I can think, and say, this is really going to impress God. And I pray for it, and I wait. I wait for the wow thing to happen. And a lot of times, instead, what I get is, son, can't you do any better than that? Can't you do any better than that? Where's your creativity, for crying out loud? Where's your imagination? I can do that with no problem. Blindfolded with my hands tied behind my back. Why don't you try believing me for something above what you can imagine? Well, okay. If God had answered some of my prayers exactly as I had asked them, I would have gotten shortchanged. His answers were always much better than my requests. I'm thankful that God has answered my prayers, all my prayers. Well, man, I said that wrong, didn't I? Sorry. Let me say that again. I'm glad that God hasn't answered all my prayers. Because if He had, some of them would have been a big disaster. There's no telling what would have really happened. So I'm glad that He has not answered all my prayers. Remember this. God always, God always gives His best to those who leave the choice to Him. So let's learn to give God, or to let God answer in His time and in His way. That's a quote from Rick Warren, the guy that wrote The Purpose-Driven Church, The Purpose-Driven Life. He says, remember, God always gives His best to those who leave the choice to Him. Let's learn to give God, or let God answer in His time and in His way. That's pretty good advice. I'm Pastor Mark. I love you guys. Be safe, be well, be blessed, be strong, and go do something for Jesus. And I'll see you tomorrow.